Hello, everybody. Welcome to Satellite 2021 at the VIA Satellite booth. My name is Jeffrey Hill. I am chair of the Satellite Show. And joining me here is Matt Little. He is the chief technologist for the Command, Control, Communications, and Instrumentation Mission Area at Ball Aerospace. Matt has joined me to talk about probably the most talked about technology here at Satellite, which is antennas, phased array antennas. Matt, thank you so much for being with us here.
Yeah, I really appreciate the invitation, and happy to hear. It's one of my favorite subjects to talk about. So
First of all,
happy to do it.
How are you enjoying the show so far?
It's been great. Today's the first day. A lot of people coming by, and we've had some new products out this year, and it's really fun to sit and talk to face to face with a large audience now around the technology that we've been working on for the last few years.
Yeah, it's good to see you in person. Good to be here with you. A lot of people have heard about Ball itself is a legacy company brand in the United States, but a lot of people haven't heard of Ball Aerospace and in some ways haven't heard about what you're doing with phased array antennas. So can you just tell us a little bit about the company's history in this area?
Sure. I mean, it's an interesting company, right? Because most people know us by the canning jar logos that you see on the glass jars that we make. But a big part of our company is also in aerospace and defense. And in our particular area in phased arrays, we've actually been doing that for a long time. We have about a 50-year history of doing phased array antennas. What we're here to really showcase this week is probably more of our last 10 years or so development, where we've really focused in on low-cost planar antennas for both aerospace but also commercial applications. Right. And that's an enabler that we see going forward for satellite communications. So we've really been able to apply that sort of aerospace and defense long history to our more recent work that we've done.
As we said during this morning's opening general session, a constant battle against physics, right?
That's right.
In developing. So I'm going to use my first acronym here, ESAs, electronically steerable antennas. So Matt, why are electronically steerable antennas an ideal solution for government and commercial communications needs?
So I think, if we look at what fundamentally an electronically steered antenna is a bunch of small antennas that arrange in a way such that you can then steer a directional antenna beam, which you need for satellite communication and others, without moving any parts.
Right.
And so at that fundamental level, it has known advantages for a long time, particularly in the aerospace industry. It's the no moving parts is a reliability feature. The fact that we have hundreds or thousands of small antennas means that they last for a long time and they degrade very gracefully, so you don't get those like one-off failures that all of a sudden your system's not working.
Yeah.
And the fast beam steering is really needed to realize some of the benefits of the emerging constellations. I think the new aspect here on the commercial side is that the cost point, which usually was more geared towards an aerospace or government application, is hitting the points at which it's very viable to put on commercial platforms as well. And then I think what we can do is bring some of those long-standing benefits known in the aerospace industry towards the commercial side now that we've seen the costs come down through technology and manufacturability.
So you're the true heroes of the service providers, opening up their markets for them by providing accessible technology.
Yeah, right? and enabling the new concepts of how you can use things like the LEO constellations, which really require that rapid electronic beam steering to realize a lot of their benefits.
And speaking of constellations, what are the importance of multi-constellation technology?
Yeah, so we get that question quite a bit. So I think if you start looking at multi-constellation, meaning you would have one antenna on a ground vehicle or stationary on the ground, they could talk to a low Earth orbit, medium, or geosynchronous orbits. It really gives you a diversity in service providers. Yeah. So now you could have one ground terminal that you could have communications with any of the various tiers. And so there's a resiliency and a fallback there for mission critical data or for looking at more how you do a data rate versus location. And I think there's some big advantages over multi-constellation versus being tied to one service provider, which might ultimately limit what you can do on your platform or through your antenna system.
Right. So, I mean, a lot of companies here will talk about how they're building cost-effective terminals. Yeah. What is Ball Aerospace's strategy in building cost-effective terminals to meet specifically your market needs?
Yeah, so in our case, what we really look to do, I mentioned there's a planar phased array technology. So in that, we have antennas on the elements on the front side. So that's the part that radiates into space. And all of our electronics on the back side of a thin, commercially available circuit board material. Right. And so it's a huge elimination of interconnects that like traditionally phased arrays would have that would drive a lot of cost. Right. So that a basic design for manufacturability planar approach is the base point of our design. We've then paired that with some low-cost semiconductor technologies, particularly important at these higher frequencies that SATCOM works at, and then made these into modular scalable tiles. So if anyone comes by our booth, you'll see a collection of these tiles that can be arranged into larger size antennas depending on requirements. But it's really the technology and the manufacturing approach for those small scalable panels that sets our price points and creates an affordable approach to SATCOM.
It's really fascinating how so much of our industry is going towards this modular design in all technologies. So, reconfigurable. This is really the cost-saving strategy for the industry. How is Ball Aerospace addressing different constellation platform requirements using a modular ESA? Do you say ESA or ESA? I never know. How do we pronounce the acronym? Do you say ESA?
I prefer ESA, but any other ways will work.
ESA, it's not European Space Agency. Again, it is electronically steerable antennas. I just want to clarify the acronym.
Yeah, so once we've created this low-cost building block, then it comes down to sizing it for the customer needs. And I think there's two parts that go into that. One would be what data rate and what network you want to operate on. And generally, the larger your antenna, the higher performance you get. So if you were to abstract away from platform sizing, you would do whatever size antenna is needed to close a link at whatever data rate's needed. When you add in the complexities of the platform capability, not all platforms can have a large antenna. And so there's a balance there in size, weight, and power of your terminal versus the data rate and performance that you're looking at for your mission needs. And I think what we've done on a modular approach is allow customers to balance those two while maintaining economies of scale of the individual building blocks. So we're not customizing the core antenna design for each, but we are customizing how we put it on your platform and how it works on the networks.
Now, with all that work on the development side, are you ready to deliver now the antennas?
Yes, so we're ramping to full rate production now. We've been doing prototype development and demos on a large variety of platforms over the last 1 to 2 years. And we're really excited. We're teamed with a commercial contract manufacturer. So a lot of our designs have been done so that we can do these at a contract manufacturer as opposed to in our own in-house factory. And that, again, helps us address the affordability and the ability to produce large volumes. And so that lesson learned of going through that, of transitioning that, is occurring today. And we're ready to deliver production units starting next year.
Excellent. Well, Matt, thank you so much for stopping by to talk to me for a little bit. Before, I believe are you speaking on the Designing Perfect?
That's my coworker, Ryan Jennings.
Ryan
will be there as well. And Ryan is the head of the area doing this work. So he's a great contributor to that panel.
So Ryan will be speaking on the satellite panel, Designing the Perfect Low-Cost Antenna. If you're a satellite registrant, you can actually watch that session. If you missed it live on demand through the attendee portal, and we'll also be broadcasting that one live during our satellite encore on September 27th. Thank you so much.
Really
Matt Little from Ball Aerospace. Ball Aerospace here at Satellite 2021. Once again, my name is Jeffrey Hill. Enjoy the rest of the show. You enjoy the rest of your show as well, Matt. And we'll see you all very soon.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.